So a few weeks ago, I got hit with a pretty bad diagnosis, something called diverticulitis. For those who aren't familiar, I know I wasn't familiar with it. It's essentially a disease that affects your colon and causes agitation, inflammation, and in some cases, in my case as well, pretty severe lower abdominal pain. So that's been not so fun to deal with. Um, Kind of trying to figure out how to manage it. It's not curable, so something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And I'm only 27, so knock on wood, I have a lot of life left to go, but it's definitely going to be a process to manage this condition. So I wanted to get on here and talk about it and discuss some of the things I wish I would have known sooner, that could have maybe even prevented this disease from happening. And then also, I know this is a finance channel, so tying it in to personal finance as well. So I guess to start off with, one of the first things that I knew I should have been doing but wasn't really doing a great job of was just getting active. I feel like for me in my life, my lifestyle, like leading up to this diagnosis, was really just, working my 9 to 5 at a desk and occasionally getting up to, go to the cafeteria in the office or run to the restroom. If I was working from home, I would, get up to go make some food or get up to go let the cats outside, that kind of thing. But I wasn't really like sweating for, any given week, any given day. I just wasn't moving as much as I should have been moving. And that can be, one of the, reasons that causes this disease to develop in the first place. So that combined with, the standard American diet of high carbs and high fat with low fiber, that'll really put you in a precarious situation if you're not careful. Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, and definitely consult your doctor, but these two things, from what I've heard and read online, is it seems like those are the common denominators of just not getting enough fiber and living a sort of sedentary lifestyle, that can lead to, health complications, which is unsurprising, really. But, I feel like when you're stuck in the motions of just going through the day and not really prioritizing your health as you should, it kind of becomes easy to let a week slip by, a month slip by, a year, the whole time flies is basically what I'm trying to say if you're not careful. So make sure to prioritize your health, and that's something that I'm going to be doing going forward to hopefully prevent any future flare-ups from my condition. So prioritizing your health is definitely something everybody should be doing, right? And I think the second thing that I would say, that, kind of prevented a bad situation from becoming worse is having an emergency fund, tying it into personal finance a bit. I think this is something that a lot of people don't really understand the true importance of having a properly sized emergency fund. And I'll make a separate video talking more about emergency funds, but really having, the old classic saying of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up in a liquid savings account that you can easily access, that goes a long way, especially when something like this happens. And in my case, I had, CT scans, doctor's visits. I still have more doctor's visits in the future. So all of that adds up very quickly. And if you don't have an emergency fund and you're putting those expenses on credit cards with 20-30% interest, that very quickly makes a terrible situation even that much worse. And then you're not only stressing about whatever the actual emergency is, but then you also have the financial burden of managing credit card payments and making sure you're not going to get behind, and it becomes almost like this downward spiral where it makes things worse. So definitely make sure, if you don't already have an emergency fund saved up, work on saving up for that, and that'll help you sleep a lot better at night, knowing that you're prepared for any of the unknown unknowns in life. Another thing that I've been learning about a lot is health insurance, co-insurance, deductibles, out-of-pocket maximums, all the things that come with health insurance while living in America. So that's definitely something that I wouldn't spend, hours upon hours upon hours looking into in your free time unless you're trying to fall asleep. But I definitely would at least make sure to go in and make sure you're familiar with your health insurance programs. Well, first, make sure you have health insurance. If you don't, go out and get that, because otherwise that becomes, it makes a worse situation even that much worse. But once you do have health insurance, make sure you're at least somewhat familiar with out-of-pocket maximums, deductibles, co-insurance, and kind of going back to saving up for your emergency fund. Make sure your deductible is covered inside of your emergency fund, and that way, you don't have to pull out a credit card and pay 30% interest if you're in the doctor's office for any sort of reason. That'll also help, mitigate the risk that comes with not having an emergency fund. And lastly, what I would say is energy and life are a precious resource. If you're not careful, it'll slip right through your hands, and before you know it, it's gone. And I think this is something that I took for granted. I know I've taken it for granted, and really what I would say is make sure to enjoy your life and enjoy the people that are around you, friends and family. And I know I'm going to make it a goal to go and, visit my grandparents more and visit my parents and all my loved ones more, and try to have, a recurring cadence set up where I'm grabbing dinner with them or I'm going to visit them, because we're all getting older and we all only have a certain amount of time on this planet before we're gone. So make sure you make the most of it. And that kind of ties into what motivated me to make this video. For the better half of my life, I've been starting YouTube channels, stopping them, and not really being as consistent as I would like to be. So my commitment to this channel is to start uploading 2 videos a week, whether it be talking head style videos like this, kind of outlined out, don't really have a formal script for this video. I just wanted to put the first shoe on, get the process started, and keep the momentum going from there. Whatever the thing is that, you've been putting off, and it's been, maybe you've started in the past and stopped, and you haven't been as consistent as you would have liked to, like me starting this YouTube channel. Don't put it off anymore. I mean, really just, in my case, it was pick up the camera and hit record. But translate that into, if you're trying to work out, like literally just put your workout shoes on and take the first step and see where that goes. I mean, we all know, we hear the saying, getting started is the hardest part. For me, I've found, staying consistent is the hardest part. And I think that's where having a community of, everybody holding each other accountable, I think that'll really help people stay consistent. So my goal again is to post 2 videos here on the channel, and I'm hoping that you guys will hold me accountable and come along for the journey. But yeah, man, I mean, time flies by for sure, and life is precious. that's all I got for this one, guys. If you enjoyed it or related to it, make sure to like the video and drop me a comment. What are you guys trying to focus on, for 2026 and being more consistent? Let me know. I'm genuinely interested, and like I said, I would really like to build a community where we're holding each other accountable and sharing our progress towards our goals. If you guys are interested in kind of the health journey, let me know down below, and I'll make maybe progress videos on that and let you guys know how I'm doing. Like I said, I'm processing it, but I'm making it, so taking it day by day and trying to have a positive outlook. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Take care, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.